Breaking news coming in uproar inside the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly, where the opposition National Conference reportedly staged a walkout over a resolution that was tabled on what efforts the government should take during flood-like situations. Remember, several people are believed to have been killed because of flooding in several parts of the state due to excessive flooding. We're now being told that there was uproar inside the assembly as well, where MLAs of the National Conference staged a walkout. Let's get a word from Ashwini Kumar, who's with us on the phone line. Ashwini, take us through what exactly happened there and why is it that the NC MLA staged a walkout?
Yes, National Conference has given an adjournment motion in the State Assembly for the adjournment of the House, and special discussion should be held in the Assembly on the floods in Kashmir and the deaths in the Kashmir Valley in district of Budgam area. But the Speaker did allow that, and he said that government will discuss this issue at 12:30. He said it should be National Conference and Congress. They said it should be discussed in the House because it's a very important issue, and the deaths of the people is going there. The floods are in the Kashmir Valley, and that is the reason there was a hangama in the State Assembly, and the National Conference and Congress MLAs, they boycotted Assembly. They came out and they protested against the government that at least 15 people could have been saved in the Budgam area when 2 days back the National Conference MLA Mia Altaf, he raised the issue in the Kashmir Valley that some of the houses are being damaged and people should be immediately rescued. That was the reason, and all National Conference and the Congress MLA, they boycotted the assembly and came out.
All right, so Ashwini Kumar, our correspondent, taking us through developments inside the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly. What's happening there is that National Conference and Congress MLAs staged a walkout demanding that the flood situation in the state be discussed on the floor of the House. Ashwini, basically the opposition trying to give a political twist to the flood situation, considering that when the National Conference was in power, this was the handling of the flood situation had led to a lot of bad publicity, and the Umar Abdullah government had been criticized for not being able to manage the work on the ground, and the rescue efforts, they said, were scattered.
Yeah, yesterday also the Umar Abdullah, he said that he don't want to politicize the flood situation in Jammu and Kashmir, but government has to discuss these issues, and when there is the information, already one of the National Conference senior MLA, Mia Altaf, has raised a question in the Assembly 3 days back that some of the houses are being damaged and the government should dispute. That was the reason they wanted that discussion should be held in the House on the floods situation in Kashmir Valley, and even the Parliamentary Affairs Bashar Bukhari, he assured the House that whatever the information is coming about the floods in Kashmir, they will give the information to the House and discussion will be held. And even Chief Minister was there. He said the government will reply at 12:30 about the situation in floods in Jammu and Kashmir. Till now, as per the Abdul Rahman Viri, he's a horticulture minister, he said 18 people have died, and out of which 3 in Udhampur and 15 in Kashmir Valley. Yeah.
Ashwini, thanks so much for that update. We keep coming back to you for more scenes of chaos inside the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly. Remember, 19 people have been killed in devastating floods in the state. In Kashmir's Budgam area, 8 bodies have been recovered, while 9 people are still believed to be missing after a landslide buried 2 houses. In Jammu, 2 people have been killed in Udhampur and Rajouri areas, while in Poonch area, the army and the police have managed to rescue as many as 50 people who were caught in flash floods. The army has deployed 20 flood relief columns, each containing up to 100 troops, and Air Force choppers are also believed to be on standby to combat rain-triggered floods. 8 teams of the National Disaster Response Force are also in the valley. The next 48 hours are crucial, say experts, as the Met Department has predicted more rainfall in the state. The Jammu-Srinagar highway continues to be closed for the 3rd consecutive day due to landslides in Udhampur, Rambagh and Banihal areas. In what could be a breather for people, water levels have reportedly receded by about 1 foot at Sangam in South Kashmir, while at Ram Munchi Bagh, the water levels remain at 19.7 feet. The centre has granted immediate relief of 200 crores to the state and sent MOS Minority Affairs Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi for a spot assessment.
Flood threat here in Srinagar is still active. We are on the banks of river Jhelum, which passes through the whole Kashmir, particularly in the Srinagar city, through the center of Srinagar city. You can see still the level of the Jhelum is not getting received, and it is still above danger mark. And this is the big worry here for the people living on the two sides of the Jhelum. This is the level of water here in Jhelum, and this is the newly constructed bund here after the September 2014 floods. But this water is easily breaching these kinds of blocks which were constructed after the September 14 floods. And if you see from my left side, this is the residential area, completely below the level of Jhelum. And if anywhere these newly constructed bunds will breach, the water from Jhelum will easily enter into these low-lying areas, and that could cause the trouble for the whole population. And hundreds of houses are just on the right and left side of this river, and that could make it the situation panic. So far the rains had stopped for last 16 hours, but Met Department has clearly mentioned that these rains will continue up to the 3rd of April. And so if there could be much and more rainfall, there are chances that the water of Jhelum could enter into the residential areas here in Srinagar, for which the government as well as other central and state agencies are well prepared of.
It has been a challenge, no doubt about it, but you can't compare it with the last year's flood, and we are dealing with it. So far we have deputed 8 NDRF teams.
There's a little bit of breather when it comes to the water levels, which have decreased in the river Jhelum, but the government and all the agencies related are not taking anything to chance. There is possibility of more rains in Jammu and Kashmir, particularly in Kashmir Valley. That's why all the agencies have been kept on alert. We are right now in one of the control rooms. This is the police control room, which constantly has been receiving calls and has been sending activities or has been telling their people where to reach, how to help people. This is the control room that has been set up here. Let's just try and figure out what exactly happens here in this control room. We have with us the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Gilani here, who's going to tell us what exactly they do here in this control room. Sir, what is it that this control room does?
Well, this control room is the nerve center of all our activity, and the activities that we carry are twofold. One is that you get information from the people, and then you disseminate it to the agencies who are involved in the relief and the rescue work, so that they are able to respond. Two is there's a lot of panic if people don't get the correct information. So our job is also to give correct information to the people so that they know where we are and so that they don't panic.
Can you just walk with us and tell us what exactly has been happening here? How many calls have been received since all this started?
See, we have this control room which works 24/7 in normal situations as well. But when you have a situation where people need to be informed, so we add up to the manpower that is available here. So right now we have about 20 people working round the clock in shifts, and so far in the last 2-3 days we have received about 25,000 calls or WhatsApp messages. We also had given a mobile number so that people could message us if they're not able to get through to us. So we have responded to about 25,000 calls in the last 3 days.
What is the response system? What do you do when you say response?
See, as I said, that we have we work on two fronts. One is that when people give us information that there is something that's happening in their areas, so we activate the concerned agencies. So we pass on that information to our field formation so that they act on those information.
Okay.
Two is that if people want to know about what's happening, so we give them the information.
And so far, how has the activity been in terms of coordinating with other agencies? How do you do that?
See, once we cross the alert levels, we set up a joint control room. So we have the reps of all the agencies who are involved in the rescue, rehabilitation, and the restoration work. So their reps are here. So once the information comes to us, we pass it on to them. They pass it on to their field formations, and they act on it.
One last thing, how does it look like from here on? There is the Met alert that there could be more rains. How are you bracing up for that?
See, we have been monitoring the levels of water at 3 different places in the valley, whether it's in South Kashmir, it's in Central Kashmir, and it's in North Kashmir. So at 3 places we monitor the levels on hourly basis. Based on the levels of water, we issue alerts. So as of now, the water levels have been receding since yesterday morning. So last 24 hours have been good for us, and we expect, the prediction is that we won't have too much of rains during today, but the rains are going to come tomorrow and day after. So we're bracing up for that.
Thank you very much. Bracing up for what may come here, not taking nothing to chance. These control rooms are a perfect example of how effort needs to be coordinated between all the agencies so that relief reaches out to people when they need it. With camera, Tariq Loon, Shujaul Haq in Srinagar for Headlines Today.